Hello guys, I created this design using Adobe XD and a lot of people said it looks pretty cool. So I decided to create this tutorial video to show you guys how to replicate the design. So let's do this. First thing is to create a artboard using, you can either create a new artboard or you can use the artboard tool here by clicking on it. Then come to the right hand side of the screen to select the particular artboard you want to use. In this case, I'll be using desktop web 1920 by 1080. And the next thing we are going to do is to change the background to a specific background here, which is the dark brown. To do that, just come to the right hand side, appearance, fill, just click on the fill color. We are going to use the color picker tool to select the color here, and you can just copy the color here in your own case. It is 1C0A09. The next thing is to create this shape that looks like a thumb. A very simple design. I'll be using the pen tool to make the shape. You can just put whatever shape you like, or you can just try and follow along using my pen tool, just to maybe drag any part of the outside. Then let me zoom in so that you see what I'm doing properly. You can just play around with the pen tool like that. I think that is okay, and I can click on the Alt key to come back to the last preferable point. Click on that. Oh, don't even need the Alt key in this case. So no, sorry, just hold down the Alt key while you drag down the last point. You can put it on the previous, second to the last one, so to speak, and then you click on the next point you wish to draw the object. Again, hold down Alt to return this to the last point. Sorry, Alt, drag this to the previous point. Then again, if you don't know how to use the pen tool, it's kind of simple, very simple to use. You can check some of our previous videos. I explain how to use the pen tool, and I'll link the video down below. It's very simple to use, and then you need some practice before you can get a hold of it. However, it's very useful too. Now that we have created the shape, let's just give it a fill color, probably white in this case, fine. Then we can just drag it onto our artboard. There you have it. Now we have the shape on our new artboard. You can also play around with the position, but that doesn't really matter. So far we have it. Then we'll go ahead and give it this light brown color. To do that, I'll be using the color picker tool in this case. Just click on it. There you have it. Make sure that it doesn't have any border color. So we just have the background and our object. So the next thing we are gonna do is first we are gonna create these menu items, but that's very simple to do. Just use the text tool, click anywhere on your artboard. Then the first link that I have is Nike, and let's play around with the font. The font that I will, for the main font that we use for the old design will be Sego UI. Then we will switch between the fonts with different font width that this particular font has. This particular font has a lot of font width. Look at this. So all these different font widths are more than enough for whatever we need in a single design actually. So in this case, for the menu we'll be using semi-light font width. So in this case as well, we'll be using semi-light, which is this, and the font size will be 20 in this case as well. We have 27. Let's quickly change to 20. Then we can go ahead and create other go ahead to create the other menu. We have Nike, Air, Jordan, About, and Pricing. I'll make duplicates of this particular one by holding down the Alt key as I drag. Now that we have the menu items, let's just play around with the arrangement. Let's make sure that they are all arranged in a very nice way. But before that, I would like to lock this shape that I created by right clicking on it, then click on lock. Once that is out of the way, then if you look, select all the menu items, come to the top right here and click on this distribute horizontally, so that all the menus are distributed, they have equal spacing between them. The next thing we are going to do is to click on align middle so that they are all placed on the same line. That's very simple, guys. Then just put it here if you wish. And the next thing we are going to do is to create this beautiful Nike logo. We'll be using the pen tool again, but in your own case, if you are still trying to learn the pen, how to use the pen tool, you can just go ahead to go online and search for a Nike logo. Make sure it is transparent. But in this case, you can just play around or try to work out your pen tool muzzle again in this case. So I'll be creating the shape from this shoe, sneakers so to speak, and to create the shape here, let me just zoom in. I think that's fine. Then I'll select the pen tool. Just very simple, guys. I'll trace along this now that we have the shape. We are going to give it a few color as well. Maybe in this case, let's just give it pure white. Yeah, I think that's cool. And in this kind of design, just aim for perfection. Actually, this is very good, very neat. Well, in other cases, it might not be as neat as this. So just don't aim for perfection. Just get the work done and continue with whatever you want to do. So So the next thing, if you notice, I locked this shoe so that whatever I'm doing will not displace the position of it. So what we want to actually work on now is this Nike logo. Let's just zoom in and then reduce the size. Make sure you hold down the shift key to have a perfect size. Then I think it should be a little bit bigger. Don't forget to hold down shift as you increase the size. I think that's fine. And the next thing I want to do here is to make sure that it falls on the same line as our menu items. So to do that, just click on this align menu, and that should be all you need. At the same time, all these menu items, I think I want them to come to the left a little bit. You can just zoom them like that. Oh, have I locked those? I think I've locked those. Let me just unlock them. Come on, what's wrong, guys? Or should I just let me take this guy out of the way for a while, and this other guy here, let me lock it. Once I have it locked, then I can always play around with these guys here. So I think that's fine. That's very much fine by me. And the next thing that we want to do here is to create this the main text of the page. We have Nike blazer made. To do that, we'll be using one of these as well. Just make a duplicate of that. So Ctrl Z. That wasn't what I wanted to do. What I want to do, just hold down Alt on the word, then you drag out to wherever you want it to be. And in this case, we want to increase the size to 104, and the font weight should be semi-bold. Likewise, it should have negative character spacing of 40. So let's quickly do that, guys. Size is 104. Hit the enter key, and the font weight is semi-bold. Likewise, the character spacing is negative 40. It's pretty cool, guys. So I'm gonna create the other words. There you have it, guys. Without wasting much time, let's quickly create the price as well, which is $300. Despite that having a different font and different size, but we can quickly do that. Now we can just play with the arrangement of this text. I think this is fine. Yep. And likewise this, let's quickly see. The size is 60 and it has the same character spacing as the main text. Yep. And the color, actually I want to use this color for it. So to do that, just click on the $300, then scroll down to where you have the fill. Use the color picker to pick the color here. There you have it, guys. Now you can zoom in to play with the arrangement if it doesn't really look the way you want it to be. You can use the arrow keys on the keyboard to streamline the movement or the position, actually, to move the different words into a particular position that you would want. So that's fine. And the next thing we are gonna do in this case is that let's bring our main image, which is this. Let's bring it into the picture, guys. And then, but before that, we can quickly, actually, let's bring our main image. You see what I'm about to say later on. If you notice, this image has a shadow apart from the Nike logo um below the Nike logo after it. So first we are gonna put the shadow to this guy, and I think this guy is an angle of -30. So let's quickly put it on -30 angle degree. Yep. Then just let's bring it into position. I think it's fine. Then we are gonna give it some drop shadow. If you look at the value 4130, surely the size of the drop shadow, we are not able to see that, but I think it's something 50% or so. So 50% black. So to give it a drop shadow, first let me select the 50% black color is selected, then I'll change this to 50, and then I think let's quickly go back to that. We have 41 and 30. The y-axis is 41 and the blurriness is 30. That's it, guys. It's as simple as that, and I think you can use such values for any of your pictures. It will look pretty nice, I promise that. Now the next thing we are gonna do is to first lock this beautiful picture. Then I want to make a duplicate of this Nike. Where is it? I think no, that's not it. I think this is it. Yeah, I want to make a duplicate of this guy here. We are gonna increase the size of the duplicate to create this dark Nike logo behind the shoe. So to make a duplicate, just right click on the object. Once we have the duplicate, you can just hold down the shift key as you increase the size. Look at that. Very simple, guys, but this is way bigger than what we want. Just think this one is enough. Then we can bring it into position just like that, and from there we can even change the angle. We can change the angle, and then so we can bring it lower again if we think that will be fine. And the next thing we are going to do is to change the color to black and reduce the opacity to like maybe 30%, or I think 30 is too low. Let's give it 40%. Yeah, I think that's fine by me. You can play around with the percentage value depending on the background colors you have. And let's move to the next thing, and in this case the next thing will be let's create the call to action, which is get it now. So to quickly do that, I'm going to make a duplicate of my 300 here. Remember, you hold down the Alt as you drag to make a duplicate, then you drop from your mouse before you drop the Alt key on the keyboard. So it will be get it now. Cool. Once we have that, we are gonna reduce the font weight. I think in this case I used light also. Let's quickly peep. Yes, I use light and the size is 20. The color is white. Yeah. And did I use 20? Well, this one looks okay. I use 20, and then there's something different about it. The character spacing is 240. This one, the character spacing is negative 40. In this case it should be 240. Yeah, the color should be white. Now that's looking cool. The next thing we're gonna do is to create a rectangle that serves as the button. To do that, just create a rectangle over that, then you drag this guy inwards. Then you are going to take away the fill color, and the border color should be white, while the size of the border color is 1. So you can just zoom in to position this, or to resize it to whatever you want, to whatever looks cool. And the best way to position these two objects is to go both, then come to align middle, and then this align center. Just click on both, and both the rectangle and the picture will make a nice object. Will be centered accordingly. So I think that's cool. However, I think I would like to maybe reposition all these items here, probably raise them up a little bit, or just reduce the size or reduce the space between them. So to do that, I will just, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Before we get on to all these beautiful display images and objects, I would like to create what I have at the right hand side of the screen here. So let's quickly do that, starting from this dotted design. To create those dotted designs, what we are going to do is to click on our rectangle tool, zoom in, then you hold down the shift key to have to create squares. Now we have a square. We're going to remove the border of the square. Probably you can reduce the size of the square as well. Then we are going to make duplicates, a lot of duplicates of the square, and a nice way to do that is first hold down the Alt on the square. As you drag, try to know the difference or the value of the spacing between them. In this case I have 15. I want it to be like maybe 40. Yeah, and I have 40. I'm gonna group both squares. Hold down the Alt key as you drag inwards. Make sure that they have difference of 40 spacing. I'm gonna drop, then duplicate this four as well. Drag them outwards. Make sure they have a difference of 40 spacing. Yep. Then I'm gonna group them. Just position them properly. Then I hold down the Alt key to drag them downwards to make another duplicate downwards. I would like the value of the spacing between these should be around, I think I'll prefer 30, but whatever you feel like. Let's go with 23. Once we have 23, we are gonna copy all those as well, then make duplicates. Make sure that the difference is 23. Is actually 23. Yeah, that's 23. We're gonna make another duplicate of this guys here. Have you selected something different? Oh, sorry. Alright, I'm gonna hold down the Alt key, make another duplicate of this guys here. Good. Now that we have all this, I think I need to lock this guy. So now we're gonna group all this. Ctrl G. You can just name it whatever you want. I'll leave it as group 13. Then you can just play around with the size by holding down the Shift key as you increase or reduce the size. There you have it, guys. But in this case, the color is similar to what you have, this dark and brown. So what we are gonna do in this case is that I'm gonna position it to wherever I want it to be. I think this place is good. I can just play around with the size once more. Then I'm gonna change the color from white to what I have here, which is 1C0A09, and then I'm gonna reduce the blurriness opacity to maybe 50%. Once we have that, I think I have something similar at the back of my text here as well, if you can see. So I'm gonna use the Alt key as I drag to make a duplicate of that. Then I'm going to give it the color of the brown, light brown. So just do this. Once we have that, I'm gonna increase the size. Go down, Shift, don't forget that. Then gonna put it there, and probably in this case I'm gonna reduce the size, the opacity more. Then I think I'll use 20. Likewise, I'm gonna reduce bring this below my text. Yep, I think that's it, guys. And then the next thing I want to do in this case is to create this cart icon that shows that the visitor has selected an item. So first I'm going to lock this group. Yep, then I'm gonna create this cart. To do that is kind of simple. I'll be using a rectangle tool again to create a square. Don't forget, select the rectangle tool, hold down shift key as you drag, then you have a square. Once you have that, we are gonna remove the border. Once we have the border removed, we are gonna play around with the radius. So what we are gonna do, I think I'll use this, which gives a 36 border radius. However, you are gonna reduce this the size of the rectangle to something like that. Then we are gonna give this it's not a rectangle, or it's still a rectangle actually, square. So we are gonna give this square drop shadow, and the value of the drop shadow will be, I'll use 50 or anything around that range actually. And the y-axis should be 20, while the blurriness should be 20 as well. If that's too much, you can just play around with the values depending on whatever you have, but I think that's fine. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this cat icon, and to put the icon, just click on this. To have a plugin on my Adobe XD that I use, it is called Icons for Design. You can search for whatever icon you need there. I have the cat, I've searched for the cat icon, so here is it. So I'm just gonna click on it, then it will be on my artboard. Then I can just position it to wherever I want it to be. Is this, I want it to be at the center of this square. Once it is there, I can change the color. In this case, I want the color to be the color of my main background there. Once we have it here, so once we have it there, the next thing we're gonna do is to create this circle that has a number in it. So to create the circle is very simple. Just click on the ellipse tool here, hold down shift key to have a perfect circle. Once we have that, just make sure that the border is selected and the color, the fill color, is the same as our main background color. There you have it, guys. And I'm gonna give this ellipse border as well. I can just maybe, let's see if this is possible. No, I don't think it's possible. Let's just create this from scratch. It should be around 20 again, and then we are gonna play with the opacity. I think 40 is fine. Now in this case, the next thing we are gonna do is to put the number here. Very simple, just click on the text tool, click on the artboard, then type 1. Once we have that, you can just zoom in to be able to drag the number perfectly, put it at the center here, and there you have it, guys. You can play around with the width. Let's use something, let's use regular. I think regular is fine. Yep, this thing is coming into life, guys. The next thing we're gonna do is to reduce the size of all these objects, all this kite object. To do that, just make sure that you select everything, hold down the shift key as you reduce the size. I think that's fine. So once that is out of the way, guys, I think this is looking beautiful, guys. Just to give you an hint, please, if you want to do this on your own, after following me, just make sure you change the color, change some things on the design. I'm very sure that you still come up with something very beautiful, because the arrangement of the items here makes it very easy to turn this particular design into something interesting for anyone that sees it. So with that said, let's continue with our design. And we are working with what you have at the right hand side of the screen. In this case, the next thing we are gonna do is let's create this Nike that's facing up. To do that, let's just select our Nike here. Let me select that from I think, yeah, let me make a duplicate. Right click, duplicate. Once you have the duplicate, this duplicate will be selected. You can just click on this to increase the size, and then you can just bring it around there. Once, I think the size is 350 and character spacing is -40. So to give it 360, kind of simple, just 360. Yep. Once we have that, we are gonna change the angle from 0 degree to 270 degree, and it's gonna be facing up. The next thing we're gonna do is just to reposition it, guys. So where are you, Nike? Oh, there it is. This is one of the reasons why I don't like locking objects. However, I think I'll figure a way out. So just put it over there, guys. You can play around with the position in any way you want. You can just put it here if you think that's fine. But what's important is that the color is, I think in this case I'll be using this color. Likewise, the opacity should be around 30%. That's fine. And again, I'm gonna lock this as well so as not to displace it from its position when I'm doing other designs. Now the next thing we're gonna do is to create this color selection, which is very simple. And to do that, let's quickly create. These are just let's zoom in so that you see what they are. In this case, we have a rectangle that has a lot of border radius. Then within it, you have circle that takes the color of the design. This is a gray, that's why you have this gray here. This other are a little bit blurred out, or the opacity is not the opacity is very low. So if you select this color, it means you're having a green shoe around there. So that's what this design means. So to create these beautiful color selections, we are gonna use first rectangle. Hold down shift to create a square. Once you have the square, let's zoom in and let's zoom in to have to give it some sides. Then next thing, to take away the border. Once you have that, let's just create some circle. No, a circle actually. I have a perfect circle here. Hold down the shift to have a perfect circle. And next we are gonna remove the border, drag the circle here, change the color of the circle to whatever color you want. In this case, I'll be using red. Once you have that, just zoom out, probably reduce the size. Then the next thing I'm gonna do here is I can just play around with the position. I'm gonna make duplicate of this guy by holding down the Alt key. Fine. The next thing we're gonna do is just to change the color of the circle within it. And this one, since it's the main one here, we are gonna choose its color. There you have it, guys. Then we are gonna change the opacity. I think I use is it 30%? No, I think 30 is way too low. It's 40. Yeah, likewise this one too, I'm gonna use 40. There you have it, guys. Something else that we didn't do is that this object here, I mean the rectangle, it has a drop shadow, and drop shadow. I think I use 40 or 50 actually. Then here I think it is 22. The blurriness is 22 as well. It's not showing properly here because this the opacity is very low, but if you have such settings here as well, if you notice that the shadow will come out pretty well. There you see it, guys. So we are gonna have this as well here. Drop shadow should be around that. Then this should be 22 as well. So there you have that. Do you have that here? Let me just go back to it. Oh no, 99 is too much. I want 22. Yep, there you have it, guys. And then the next thing we are gonna do is to create this circle, this beautiful, is this circle line. Then the line has a lot of white dots over it. To do that, it's kind of simple. What we are gonna do is let's make first let me show you a simple way to create it. If you know how to create ellipse and you know how to use the pen tool, I believe you can easily create this. But this is it. I'm gonna give this a very bright color. So we're gonna remove the border. So the next thing we are gonna do is use our pen tool to trace out such line. So I'll zoom into it, just have some circle, and then this line we can just give it no, sorry, select the pen tool. Once you have the pen tool, then with the pen tool you can just click outside of it like that, click another part, you can just play around. There you have it, guys. Next thing we're gonna do is hold down the Alt to return this to the last point. Once that is there, you can just kick another point to drag. Hold down the Alt to take this point to the last point. Then you can just there you have it. Just take this point to the last point. You can just continue like that to have a perfect part of a circle actually. But now I'm going to close this by double clicking on this. Oh, Ctrl Z, that's wrong. You can just click on what's it called, escape, to drop the pen tool. There you have it. Now you can take away this same circle, this circle there, yeah, the perfect circle actually. Now you have this line here that has, you can give it a fill color if you want, but in this case we don't want to give it a fill color. Just we are okay with this particular color that it has. We're gonna change the color to white if we want. Also you can play with the size. I think I'll use 3. The next thing, Ctrl Z. The next thing we are gonna do is to bring this shape into our design here. Then the next thing we are gonna do is we're gonna reduce the size. Don't forget to hold down Shift to reduce the size. Then zoom in. Just put it around there. So I think that's fine. That's pretty cool. The next thing I'm gonna do is to put some circles over this line. To do that, just click on the rectangle, the ellipse tool rather. Just zoom in. Just click on this, on the ellipse. Hold down shift as you create the ellipse. Don't forget to remove the border. Again, you can just play around with the position. Then what you are gonna do now is to hold down Alt to make duplicate of this guy. Just put it at a very nice place. Drop it. Again, make another duplicate. Drop it there. Next thing is to drop another one here, and lastly just drop the last one at the center of this circle. I think that's fine. The next thing we are gonna do is make duplicate of this here. Then hold down the probably shift and alt to make duplicate, and as well increase the size accordingly. Drop that. Once you drop it, just give it a border with color of white and remove the fill color. There you have it, guys. And then the next thing we are gonna do in this case is we are gonna select all the elements that are related to this line. Probably something like this. Yeah. And once you have that, just Ctrl G, and everything that is pertaining to this line will be in this group. As you see, we have the path and all the ellipse associated with the path. So we have everything in this group. So the next thing we are going to do is in this case, if you notice, this design is coming into life, guys. Let's see what you have been doing all this while. See, this is coming into life, guys. Please clap for yourself if you have been able to follow to this stage. Please clap for yourself. You deserve something, and a clap is something. All right, guys. I think we are moving closer to the end of this design. I think the only thing that we are left with is this beautiful display part, and maybe probably this 5/10. So let's quickly create this because it's kind of tricky. And I'll be very happy to show you how to create that. So next, just select the rectangle tool, then you drag to create a rectangle. I think that's fine. Once you have your rectangle created, just position it in a nice way. Then the next thing we are gonna do is to give it some border radius. Just play around with the value here with the direction keys on your mouse. Whatever you feel like is right, I think it's right. Just take away the border and the fill color. This is where the magic is. Click on the fill color. If you notice, we want to have these two colors in this. How do you have two colors? Actually, it's kind of simple. Be using the linear gradients, and one side of the linear gradient will be at the left of the rectangle, the other side of the linear gradient will be at the right of the rectangle. Now this first part, we want the color to be this color, so I'll use the color picker tool to select the color. Once you have that, and this other end, I want it to be a pure white. Here comes the trick, but the center, I want this light green to end somewhere around there, while I want the white to start after it. So how do I do that? Just click on this part, then make sure that the color is still the initial color that I selected earlier on. Then again, just make another point around there. This one I want it to be here, and this one I want it to be pure white. There you have it, guys. Now we have two separate colors there you have it. Now you can play around with the position of this rectangle. You can even reduce the size if you think you need that. So once you have that, just play around with the position. Actually, whatever you want is what I want. Alright, next thing we're gonna do here in this case is to make duplicates of this particular rectangle. Don't forget the way we have been using making duplicates since. Hold down the Alt as you drag the particular object. So I'm gonna drop it from my mouse first, then drop the Alt again. We're gonna make another duplicate. There you have it, guys. Then make the last one. So what we are gonna do now is to change the color here. To change that, just go into the gradient, linear gradient as well, and the first one, which is what we want, just select the color picker to select that. Then this second one, just go back and select. There you have it, guys. This one too, we have the same thing. Just click on this, select the color picker to select that, and then select that as well. Good. The next thing we are gonna do is to select this. In this case, it doesn't look like it's pretty much being involved. Actually, let's just shift all these guys to this side a little, so that will create some space for our fourth rectangle. We want it to be in the picture. Hello rectangle, please come into the picture. Yep. So Ctrl Z. Surely that's not what I want. This is what I want. Yep. So just select this. Now I want to give it this particular color. To do that, kind of simple. Sorry. That is selected as well. Good, guys, this is coming into life, man. Like I said some minutes ago, if you have been following all along, please drop a comment below and I'll be very glad to reach out to you. Thank you, guys. If you have been able to get to this stage, I really appreciate your perseverance. So let's quickly bring the boots into our design, and I think let's start with this guy here. And if you notice, before you even bring it into our design, if you notice, it has a shadow. That's what I want you to be aware of. If you click on this, the opacity, we have 50% opacity of the dark color, which is the black here, and likewise we have this the y-axis has 22 value and the blurriness has 21 value. So we are going to apply that to all the sneakers that we put on this design, so as it will come out. If you look at this, if you look at that, there's some extent of shadow on the design. So what we are gonna do here is I'm gonna bring this guy here. Likewise, this guy, I'm gonna bring it into the design. In this case, I want all the shoes to face the left hand side of the screen. So since this guy is facing the right hand side, I'm gonna scroll up. Here we have flip horizontally. There you have it, and you can play around with the angle as well, and likewise you can play around with the size. Just position it in a very nice way, and don't forget to give it the shadow that I spoke about. So the blurriness should be 50% and the y-axis should be 22, while the blurriness should be 21. There you have it, guys. Then these other boots, let's bring them into our design as well. So this, just play around with the angle, and likewise play around with the size. Don't forget to hold down the shift key as you reduce the size. Then the next thing we're going to do is to play around with the drop shadow. 50% drop shadow, and the y-axis should be 21 while the blurriness is 21. Sorry, the y-axis should be 22 while the blurriness should be 21. And the next thing we're going to do is to bring in another what we are going to do here is change the angle. Likewise, just play around with the angle, something like that is fine. Then the next thing we are gonna give it a shadow, 50% opacity, and the y-axis should be 22 while the blurriness should be 21. There you have it, guys. There you have it. It's looking beautiful, guys. The final thing we are gonna do for this design, second to the last thing, so to speak, is if you notice, we have the name of this particular sneaker, we have the rating, then we have the price. To do that, very simple as well. We'll make a duplicate of this, get it now, put it over here, right click on that selection, bring it to front, then change the color. I think I would like to use the main background color, and then change the font weight to regular. Then no, let me use bold. I think I like bold for this. Zoom in, then just give it a name. I'm gonna give this fabulous. Yep. Once we have that, the next thing we are gonna do is to put the rating. I'm gonna give this a 6 star. If this or 5 star, sorry. Yep. Then the next thing we're gonna do is to give it price. This to be in dollars. Let's say $280. Likewise, you can just put a plus here so that they will add it to the cart. Something like that should be fine. Make a duplicate of this here. Then if you have the plus and this plus, I'm gonna increase the size. Put it around there. Select everything here. Then hold down the shift to increase the size. You can put it around there. I think that's fine. The next thing we are gonna do is to select everything and just dump it on all the other designs. Don't forget to hold down the Alt as you drag. Fine. Put it around there again. I think that's fine. Then you can play around with the name and the rating. Just let me give this a some. LD. Just to get the idea, guys. That's just it. Then this guy too, we are gonna give it some. Give it something now. What? So that's it, guys. That's it. The next thing we are gonna do in this case is let's create this rating. So to do that, it's very simple, and you'll be using the line tool. Just click on it. Just come over here to create the line. Don't forget to hold down shift. Just make a little line here. Fine. We are gonna increase the size to maybe 5. Once we have that, we're going to change the color to white. Once we have that, the next thing we are going to do is to create another line. From this, make sure you hold down the shift and alt to have another line, something like that. Drop it, then hold down the shift key as we extend the second line. Now we have two lines, and the second line we are going to reduce the opacity to 50%. It is as simple as that, guys. So the next thing we are going to do here is this. We're going to make a duplicate of this number, put it here, change the color to white, then just give it this 5/10 that we have there. It's very simple, guys. And next thing I want to do, just can play around with the size and the character spacing. Yeah, I'm gonna give it 0 character spacing, and the size, maybe I'll change it to maybe 18. There you have it, guys. Zoom in, put it in shape, in order, and the whole design has come to life, guys. See what you have been able to come up with. Look at that. No, that's not a design. That's the first one I did. This is the design we did together. This thing is beautiful, guys. This is fantabulous. All right. The next thing I want to do, something that we should have done, is this. Just bring out our grid, and then just make sure that all items are aligned in a very nice way on the grid. I'm using 12 grid layout. So what we are gonna do here, let me lock this box, while every other thing, especially the menu, let me zoom in so that they fall. Oh, have I locked it? Actually, this is what I want to do. Just put it on the end of the grid. Blazer, where are you? Now I have a call to action. No, I don't mean to select the shoe. She's very big. Yep. Likewise, shoe, please, I'd love to lock you, or I can just this is the shoe, right? I can just block it from view, while I bring this onto my grid. Then I can go back to the shoe, make it come to life. That's it, guys. And again, our little Nike here. Where are you? Is it a part? I think it's a part. Yeah, that's it. Let's just zoom in so that let's put it here. There you have it, guys. There you have it. It's looking very perfect, guys. I really appreciate you sticking around till the end. Stick away and see what you have been able to come up with all this while. Probably I can share 1 or 2 tips before we bring this to an end. The first thing that I want to talk about is, as little as these dotted designs look, I think they are one of the most important parts of this design, because you just give it some outlook. Just play around and see, take away the dotted design and see how the design will look. Last one. The second thing is that these little designs here are very awesome. They bring this whole thing into life. It's as if just bring it into life. I love this. And then I think these are very important things that I want to talk about. Likewise, this Nike that is out of shape, as in at all. The normal order that we will see a text makes it very interesting. This is a very interesting design, guys, and I really appreciate you sticking around to the end. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.